into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Liz, this is James, and this is RBLR Sun. James, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I am here tonight to talk about the Sun after I was just here earlier to talk about the Rowdies. So it's a lot of soccer for me tonight. And is that all that different from any other nights? I'll leave that up to viewers and listeners to guess. The answer is no.
All right, we have lots of things to talk about. Exciting things. Our first win. Finally. It's only November.
It's taken a while.
Thank God. Yeah, thank God. And it was a very nice win, I have to say. A lot of things went right for us. A lot of things went wrong for Spokane, but we will get to that. We also signed, finally, Maddie Parsons, the USL Super Leagues and the Tampa Bay Sun's worst kept secret.
I even put that in the release when they actually announced it.
Yeah. So very exciting. We've mentioned her a couple times, but we have definitely seen Maddie Parsons training with the squad in Tampa Bay Sun warm-up stuff, in practices before, in pictures for at least a couple months now. I don't know if it was in August or when we started noticing it exactly, but it's been a while. It's been a couple of months. And we've been wondering if we're going to sign her. I thought it was done. I thought she's just hanging out with us at this point. Because I thought when Tosh was out and we didn't have a second striker, that would have been the time to be like, yes, now we signed Maddie. I don't know if there were contract things going on in the background. I would love to find out at some point. But very happy to have her.
Yep. Obviously, if we can add to the attack, I think that is a benefit to this team immediately. So it's about time that we made it official, and let's get her on the field a little bit more now.
Yes, she did play about 20 minutes in this match against Spokane. She looked a little lost. Understandable. It's her first match. I think what she did do on the field was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I did hear some criticisms in the Heatwave Discord, and I'm just like, no, that's Maddie. Leave her alone. She's ours now.
We wait for that. Hold on.
Yeah. We prayed for this. All right, so we beat Spokane. Sorry if I'm loud, listeners.
Cue fireworks.
Yeah, honestly, though. Sorry if I'm screaming. I'm just very excited. It was a nice early goal. From a set piece, which almost never happens. Oh my goodness. Who are we defending against set pieces and scoring on them? What is this team?
Yeah, both of those. I mean, we're going to get into a lot of this, but the Sun have obviously been searching for their first win for ages at this point. More important to me as a defensive-minded player when I was playing, we got to get a shutout sometimes, right? We got to get a shutout here, and we did that too. So, like you said, we did well on the set pieces on both ends, and it's over 25-26. It has not been that common. We do have to remember that. We are thinking about every week has been probably a little bit better than the last, and this week we finally get our first win. But no small part of that goes to the fact that we kept Spokane to 0 goals because we only scored the one. If they had scored even 1 goal, then we were not winning this game. So yeah, and we're going to get into it a lot more, obviously, but very positive stuff on both sides, in my opinion.
Yeah. Schneider did a great job, although I have to say Spokane was truly a mess. It was bad. I didn't realize it on the initial viewing. It wasn't until I went back and did my rewatch that I was like, wow, there's 2 players doing all the work and then you subbed one of them. So you only had 1 player doing anything this whole game. It was not a good game for Spokane. I don't know if they've been on like a slight downward trajectory since they got their new coach, because they're maybe trying to implement a whole new system.
Right.
From one that was working, kind of working. They almost made playoffs. They ended up in 5th. So it wasn't not working, but they had pretty good coach. They went from no coach, and now they have a coach, but they seem a little lost on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was going to take a combination of things, right? It was going to take the Sun doing particularly well in moments, and it was also probably going to take another team not doing that well to get us that first win, and then we'll see how we can build. But that's for later on in the show. Let's get into the game before we talk about the future.
Sure. So our lineup, we were kind of doing a 4-1-4-1, or a 4-1-4-1, with Tank up top. And then we started Gaillard. Yay! I think this is the first game that she's actually started. I was very much a big fan of Gaillard in this match. It was kind of hard to pick a player of the match. It is going to go to the goal scorer, but it was still hard to be like, oh, but these other people did so much to make other things happen. But sorry. So we had our attacking midfielders were Gaillard, Giamona, and Nacello, with Shimkin and Listro as our centers. Our midfielders. And then we had McNeil, Hendricks, Bessette, and eventually Pluck with our back line. And of course, Schneider in goal. On the bench, we had Provenzano, Emma Gaines Ramos, Olga Masambo, Maddie Parsons, and Dory Haugen.
Yeah.
We do still have a handful of players out. A handful of players out. Still Yuki. She's over in Japan doing 2 months of rehab, hoping she's coming back then in January, February. Parker Goins is out. Charlotte McLean is out. Emerson Elgin is out. Hannah Keene is out. Tosh Flint still out sick. Big question mark there.
Big question mark. As we've noted, if you are not in the Heatwave Discord, I would suggest you do that just for a little bit of background as to where we're getting this big question mark. But I don't know. I don't know that it's fully appropriate to go into here, but I'll leave that up to our podcaster extraordinaire for the Sun, Liz here. We can't wait for her to get back on the field. I'll say that.
Yeah, she's been social. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
She's been social, according to her Instagram. So it's just kind of weird that she wasn't at this match. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on in the background that we don't know. As we do here, we wildly speculate.
That's true. Yeah. What else are podcasts for?
Yeah. Who knows? Hopefully she'll be back soon. We miss her. So a lot of fluidity though in our lineup. It's really nice, actually. We have Nacello and Pluck really covering that right side really, really well. Pluck is almost right behind Nacello at some points. But then we've had Shimkin move all the way over to the side, all the way over to the right side again from the left. And people will shift over. Sandrine was kind of interchanging with Jordy Listro, but also Giamona. It was a lot of people moving around, and it worked really, really well. It looked like we knew our game plan from the first minute.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think that the Sun have mostly it's not necessarily a problem that the Sun haven't had a game plan here. I think that Denise Schulte-Brown is pretty good at coming up with plans for what the team needs to do, whatever the circumstances are on the field. Sometimes it just comes down to implementation, right? So I think that in this case, we had a very good game plan, and we also saw a lot of really good implementation of that. You talked about them moving around, and we've got your notes here that I'm looking at with everybody's got their arrows about where they were going. So it's true though. It was good to see the players. Not necessarily. I don't think that there was a lack of buy-in previously, but there, like I said, there was just a lack of execution at times. I think that everybody was able to pull it off properly in this game, and really looked good. They created the chances that ultimately led, at least in one case, to a successful corner kick. We're going to get to that later on too. but at the same time, they were covering all their bases defensively.
Yeah. We were just so solid this match. I hope whatever pregame rituals we did, whatever dark magic, whatever we did to make this happen, we just need to do it every single time now.
Yeah.
That would be great. Spokane looked lost. We looked great. Going minute by minute. Of course, you have to mark when Nasello is first fouled. It was a pretty early one, 2 minutes. I feel like that might be the earliest yet. Was fouled by Fontenot on Spokane, who, spoiler alert, does a lot of the work in this match. I think she's one of the players that gets mentioned the most. Because it's her and like Sophia Braun, and then I talk about why Solano was just bad.
Yeah.
3 minutes in, we get our first corner kick. It was foreshadowing for our beautiful, beautiful goal that we will get later to win the match. But I love that right off the bat, we're pushing them, we're pushing into their half, and we get a corner. Awesome. I love it. That corner, beautiful. It was McNeil to Nasello, a little like 1-2-1. McNeil to Nasello, back to McNeil. She passes to Giamona. Bessette just misses. So close. It could have been the first goal right then and there. It was just timing, but it was a beautiful execution. So close.
Yeah.
A
little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yes. McNeil taking the corners is really, really helpful, because then you have Henny and Bessette in the box to do some of this work, get in the way of some of the other players too. I love it. Spokane's first shot is like as in the 6th minute, it goes wide. It's not a great shot. That's also foreshadowing for the rest of Spokane's game.
True.
Spokane gets a corner a couple minutes later. Schneider's actually caught out pretty far out of her box. She thought she was going to be able to get a hand on it and didn't quite, but Bessette is right there filling in, filling in behind her, knocks it right out. Beautiful. Just another example of like the symbiosis that was just working so well this match. I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels like the right word in my head.
We're going to go with symbiosis. It's the word you've chosen. So that's what we got.
Excellent. Sophia Braun gets a shot off target. It goes wide. It feels like they're just kind of kicking to kick at this point. I'm not sure where the intent is. Couple minutes later, I noticed Nasello and Shimkin. It was this really nice combination that happened for a while. Shimkin was right behind covering to get the ball. Sid, when Sid lost it, gives her Sid a minute to get back in position. She passes it right back to Sid. And then we get a corner from this. And then we get a goal. Oh, it was a Bessette header. McNeil passes it straight into the box, straight to Bessette. It's the first long corner we've taken, I think, in a little while. We've been doing a lot of short corners, and maybe just to change it up, trick Spokane a little bit from doing the short corners earlier. We went and we did a long corner, caught them off guard. Bessette scores. Woohoo!
I had a really hard time. I had a really hard time. I don't know about you. But like determining who had actually headed it, even after Bessette wheels away celebrating and everything, I was still like, who scored that? Who put it in? I can't tell.
Yeah, no, we were way up in the box. Everyone was in the way of Spokane players. It was great. I love it.
Yeah.
And I said Spokane. Haha, Spokane score a goal.
Got him.
So now we're up by 1. Things are going great. Sabrina McNeil, oh my gosh, absolutely one of my players of the match, because I am 100% a McNeil fan now. She is so fast and defensively sound. I love her. She gets a kick off a header. It was great. Oh, Oh, I'm sorry. It was she bounces off the post header. That's what it was. So she was so close to making this a 2-0 game. 2 minutes and by the 21st minute. I feel like we had a lot of chances that maybe just didn't quite get there, but we were also holding off Spokane really, really well, just containing them.
Yeah, exactly. Doing better on getting into the positions where we're almost creating those final chances. What we need are the shots, obviously, that are on target. That's the next step, of course. But like you said, defensively, really covering all of the options that Spokane was trying to set up. And I think that probably comes down to some good coaching based off of the sessions that they do each week, watching film in preparation. This player is going to be important in this position. This player is going to be making these types of runs, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was really nice to see all of that.
Okay, here's the joke about the two players. So at the 25th minute, I asked, how was the sedan chair that Sophia Braun and Fontenot? Oh, how heavy is the sedan chair that Sophia Brown and Fontenot have to carry the rest of the team around in, because they're the only ones doing anything at this point. Solano has either been off target or has been a non-issue, which is kind of insane. There was one of their best players.
Yeah, they were not being helped out by their team, let's say.
Yeah. 30th minute, I'm noticing there's just really crisp passing. Everything is on target. We're not quite making it to the final shot because Spokane might get there first. They are very fast. I will say there were a couple of times where we almost get the ball, or maybe a pass goes ever so slightly too far for like I think there's one specifically where Nacello's passing up to Giamona or something like that, and Giamona can't quite get to it. Spokane player gets to it first. No big deal. Still liked what was going on, and it looked like a tactic straight out of practice. Played perfectly.
Yeah.
34th minute, Cam Tucker, another one of their really good players, shoots a tame shot. Snyder catches it easily. It was a loose pass from Bessette that got intercepted. Snyder handled it. A little weird a little lazy from Bessette, which is unusual. It doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to just give it a pass and be like, that's okay. Schneider had it.
Someone had it covered, so we'll forget about it.
Yeah. So the 35th minute, I noticed that was the first corner for Spokane. So we held them off for a good while. They were not, we stayed in their half and keeping them out of our final third. Honestly, for a good 30 minutes at least. They might have made it over once or twice, but not for very long. We were really good at containing them and kind of bringing them back to their scoring half.
Yeah, absolutely.
So their first corner, the shot goes over the top. Schneider bops it up so that it goes out and over. Love it. Schneider was on point tonight. That night she deserved her clean sheet for sure.
Yeah, I think that we probably talked about this a number of times over the course of last season, just a couple of shows that I was on, but definitely you and Tom frequently. It was difficult with the goalkeepers because nobody was really getting a full run of consistency, including Ashley Orcus last season. So I still think Sydney Schneider was probably supposed to be the number one pick based on how last season went, but she couldn't get that consistency. And now I think that if she's staying injury free, we're going to start to see the best of her. So keep our fingers crossed that it stays that way and we do get to see the best of her, because like you said, I think that she was doing pretty well in this game. And I think that that's just based on getting the in-game situations that people really need.
Yeah. Also, I think she's pretty sure she's fresh off international match with Jamaica too. I didn't get to watch it. It was very difficult to find
where
it was being aired Because I remember pulling it up and being like, oh yeah, she's got a match soon, doesn't she? And going to the Jamaica Instagram. And it was like on in like 10 minutes or something like that. And I'm like, but where can I watch this?
Yeah, unfortunately, that still lags behind. Obviously, there are not enough venues showing those kinds of games, including FIFA Plus, where they do have a ton of games available even during international windows. But you'll be hard pressed to find as many women's games, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I'm sure that experience, just being away, different coaches, different styles, just learning, anything she learned, it's clear that she brought back. And she was just so solid this game. It was great.
Yeah.
So 36 minutes, something Mike noticed, and he pointed it out to me. This is Listro's second really good tackle in 2 games now. 36 minute, Listro challenges. She steals the ball, passes to Nacello to have her run it upfield. But it was just so smooth. The player stays on the ground for a second and like gives that look of like, why isn't that a foul? And then the ref's like, no, keep playing. Oh, it was great. I love a good like captain's foul, like just really professional doing it correctly.
Yeah, that's another thing that as a defender growing up, I absolutely value in the game. So good on Jordan Listro. Hopefully she's finding her footing in exactly those tackles and we get a couple more of them, especially
Yeah.
when we get to it this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Listro's kind of been an unsung hero lately. She doesn't get mentioned as much because she's kind of passing the ball like through channels, as opposed to like making like a bunch of hard tackles or hard
Right.
defenses. She's just kind of like a nice gateway, so she doesn't get mentioned as often, but she's still doing so much work.
Yeah, obviously that it's what the commentators always say. It's the stats that don't get mentioned, right?
Yeah. 39th minute, Sandrine gets a foul. It's so soft. She doesn't, I think this is the one where she like her arms are out, but she doesn't actually touch the Spokane player that goes down. It was so dumb, but it's fine because Spokane gets a free kick and they completely waste it, as they have been this whole match.
So, oh well.
Yeah. There's this is another one of my notes where I was noticing that there was a lot of fluid movement. Everyone was filling in exactly where they needed to be. So Listro was on the right mid, Carly was attacking, so Jilly filled in. Jilly Shimkin moves into the center mid, and it just make sure that everything stays nice and compact. And we keep our rows. That was something I really noticed. And I don't know if that's just because I did marching band, but I noticed we kept our nice like rows of players keeping in a nice straight line, making sure everybody's staying in position way cleaner than Spokane did. They were kind of all over the place, position wise, it felt like.
Yeah. I think that was. I mean, I agree with that. I don't know if it's just something for the marching banders among us, but or banding marchers amongst us. But either way, yeah, it was proper organization all the way throughout the game.
Yeah. 44th minute, it's a great step from Pluck, grabs it from Spokane, sends it to Carly. If it was a little bit, this was the one I was thinking of earlier. Sorry. So if the pass was like ever so slightly more accurate, maybe just a little shorter, Giamona could have taken it all the way up the wing, like just like Nacello has been doing this whole match. But it's just another example of how Nacello's position is the field. She goes where she wants. But just another example of Carly, she's on the attacking right now because that's where she needed to be in the moment. So other people filled in, and they're passing her the ball up there. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
45th minute, Spokane finally remembers that they have to shoot the ball. It goes way over the box. Spokane has not been on target, I feel like, this whole match. I think maybe they've had one on target shot technically, but all of them have just been disasters. I think they're going to have to do shooting drills for like a week now.
Well, we won't have to worry about that for a little while. So let them do it.
Yeah. Yep. 45th minute +1. We have a shot from Tank that I kind of wish she just kind of ripped it at this point. I don't know if she was just trying to be a little more conservative, make sure, but it was one of those ones that I wish she had just absolutely kicked the shit out of it. Spokane gets another shot in, goes over again. And it was kind of funny. The injury time was exactly 2 minutes to the dot, which I feel like you never see. So I had to note that. They interview Bessette at halftime. She's out of breath and so tired because she's also been working her butt off.
Yeah,
so the summary of that was we need to stay focused.
The halftime interview, like, how often do you even get really anything of substance out of that? But I think she said the same phrase, like, we gotta dial in and focus. It was something like, I don't remember what it was, but she said that like 3 times, and it was just like, yeah, of course, because she's her adrenaline is pumping. She needs to sit down, take a breather.
Yeah. Yeah, she kept saying we just need to stay focused. We just need to stay focused.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame her. She was so out of breath. They couldn't have even given her like a second to like catch her breath. It was a little crazy. But that's fine. We're at halftime. We are up by 1. Woohoo. All right. So second half starts. Spokane gets a free kick. It falls short. Common theme for this match. 48th minute, the ref got in the way, which is kind of funny. I feel like that doesn't happen that often. 50th minute, Spokane is looking a little more dangerous, but it's very like paper tiger. Snyder catches most of their shots pretty easily. Even the commentators that I was listening to during the match were kind of saying later on that, oh, Spokane, they're looking a little more menacing. And it's like, yeah, but they're not doing anything with it. So does that really count?
Right. Yeah.
I have Nacello does her best. Oh, okay. This is like the 50th minute again. Nacello does her best. I'm gonna play around with 3 defenders. Where she just kind of like, I'm just gonna dribble the ball and have some fun. Just make them run.
She has the capability, obviously.
Yeah. 51st minute, we get some really strong work from Carly down the left wing. Beautiful through ball for Tank. Gets set, passes it back to Carly, tries to curl it to the far post. It gets deflected, but we get a corner. Spokane has then probably had a talk at halftime, and actually they definitely look more menacing, like I said before. But they're solid. They're not solid. They're trying. It's like they Mike and I were talking, and it's like they got yelled at, but not just a really bad yelling at halftime.
I could see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They are covering our short corners way better. They're putting more players up, like 3, so that we don't have as much passing room. So they have learned something at least. Oh yeah. I was really like train of thought typing for this. I have is Spokane also thinking about the Portland game. Because Portland was playing I think San Diego at the time. I can't remember who they were playing, but I missed our goal because like a minute before Portland scored. I had them on another screen, and I was like, "Oh, they scored! That's so cool!" And I'm watching the review of the play, and then I see that, "Oh, we scored! Oh, I missed it."
Isn't that always how it goes?
Yeah, there was a lot of soccer last weekend, and it was all wonderful. What was I? 54th minute, McNeil just gets like yoinked down by Spokane. It can tell they're getting a little frustrated. Maybe getting a little I don't know what word I'm going for here. Lazy's not the word, but like a little more
tired.
Yeah.
It's kind of over it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of the players were doing that, like when they would kind of like stop play when play would stop for a second and they'd zoom in on a player. They were all doing the like,
Mhm.
which is it's nice to see the other team doing that, because that was us like 2 games ago where I was like, oh man, no, we're cooked. We're cooked very early on. 54th minute, Carly through ball leads to Jilly shooting. It wasn't quite polished, but it was a great shot, and I'm glad she's trying. Jilly, I have to admit, I was a little skeptical. She's real young. She came from our academy squad from last season. But she is really coming into her own and really owning what she's doing on the field. I like she's filling in. She's working so well with the team. I'm a fan. I am on the Julie Shumkin train for sure. 55th minute. Carly is lurking on the back post, mostly uncovered. It's a good pass into the box from Sandrine. Can't quite get it in the net, but I love that we have these like spaces where we're putting ourselves that we're not noticed, I guess, by the other team. It's great. Great for shots on target. Even if we're not quite making it in, I like that we're staying aggressive.
Yeah.
We're not sitting back or anything, getting complacent, none of that. Was it 60th minute? Fontenot gets a clear run in to our final third. Bessette and Henny were back covering another striker. The shot does go high. Should have been covered by Pluck, but again, Spokane's all of their shots have been so wildly off target. It didn't matter. Just a slight moment of a slip up, didn't cost us. I guess that's what matters.
Just like we said earlier.
Yeah. 62nd minute, Pluck gets her hand stepped on by Fontenot. I have the only player doing anything for Spokane at the moment. 63rd minute, we do make a sub. We make 2 subs. We do we bring Haugen in for Pluck, and we bring Zaid in for Shimkin. So our lineup changes just a little bit, where we have Zaid now on the attacking right. And then Haugen joins our defense to give us we're kind of in like a 4-2-4-1 at that point. No, 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I can count. Counting is easy. So yeah, we're kind of in like a 4-2-3-1 at this point, where we have like Tank still up top, and then we have Sid, Giamona, Zaid, and then we have Sandrine and Listro kind of interchanging in the center mid.
Yeah.
63rd minute, Schneider makes a big save to keep Spokane out. Love it. Solano needed 64 minutes to finally get cooking and make a decent shot on target, so that's a good sign for the rest of this match. 65th minute, I start typing in all caps. Oh no, it was this foul. This foul was so soft. Sandrine gets a yellow and she does not even touch the Spokane player. It was so annoying.
Which is just like the prior foul that you had mentioned from her. So
yeah,
I
think that one might have actually been a foul and she just went down kind of easy, or kind of something like that. This one, she truly did not touch her. I remember this one now because I wrote this one in all caps. This one was angry.
At this point, the ref is giving them fouls or giving a yellow card specifically to Sandrine because of these light fouls, non-fouls, where if it's an accumulation, which is a type of yellow card, then you have to think, like, if she didn't get the first one, would she have even got the second one that gave her the yellow card? Probably not.
Yeah. Spokane gets a free kick from this. It's a super tame header. Snyder catches it easily. Love it. 68th minute, Henny gets a little casual with the clearance of a ball. It does fall to a Spokane player who gets it to Solano. Snyder kind of bobbles it in front of Solano, but McNeil right there filling in, cleans it right up. Love it. So I like that even though we might make just little like game mistakes, stuff that just happens in the run of play. We have somebody else is always watching to fill in to make sure that there's always another line of defense right behind them.
Yeah. Goes back to the organization we've talked about.
Yeah. I truly, I love that everything was just clicking for this match. That's the only way I can think of to put it. Everything was just working. We came, we knew the game plan, we executed it, and Spokane just Spokaned. 68th minute, we bring Provenzano in for Listro, and we bring Maddie in for Tank. And the Zayd train was absolutely chugging by the 672nd minute. I remember seeing her just absolutely shoot up the sideline with the ball and I was just like blown away by how fast she was. It was great. We've shifted more into like a 4-1-4-1 at this point. Spokane has had a little more possession in this half, but like I said before, they're not doing that much with it, with that final touch. It's just very off this match. It was not good for Spokane. They're going to watch this game tape and be very, very sad.
Yeah.
Again, loving Zayd. She kind of stumbles, but manages to like runner's start to keep pushing to catch up to the ball that from when she fell. It was great. I love it. So she races up the field after that, passes to Carly in the center. The shot is deflected, but absolutely great shot and great run of play. Looks straight out of the practice playbook.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep working on it. I mean, come up with little variations, but do more of that stuff.
80th minute, we bring Emma Gaines Ramos in for Giamona. It's kind of like a 1-for-1 sub. So the lineup doesn't change too much with that. I've noticed that as we bring some players on, the formation kind of changes, and we nailed that. I'm a fan. Where are we? 82nd minute, shot by Jordan Zayd. It goes just left. I love it. We are still 82nd minute. We are still shooting. We are still trying to get that second goal. That would solidify the win. I love it. We have not let up at all. 85th minute, Spokane gets a dangerous pass into the box. Shot's not on target. 86th minute, we get the first Zayd flip throw. Haven't seen it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
The 87th minute, she does it again, but I think everyone was paying attention this time. And you can hear the background crowd go, "Whoa!" when she does it. It was really funny. 88th minute, Spokane again shoots, absolutely skies it over the net. And then we have the absolute longest 3 minutes, which ends up being 5 minutes of stoppage time of my entire life. I think I typed "blow the effing whistle" a couple of times and screamed it. But we won. We did great. We were not complacent the whole match. We kept up the pressure, the symbiosis of everybody moving around and shifting where we needed to be. We trusted the game plan. Everything went according to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it worked out at little moments here and there by the skin of our teeth. But yeah, overall, I would say that this is what the Sun can do. And like we said earlier, and like we'll get to, build on, but continue to make it a little bit better each new week. And I think that these are just like the very basic signs, us doing what we need to do, but at the lowest level. And then if we can make it better on each side, then we'll get more shutouts, obviously, but we'll also get more goals in the future, and more goals help close out games when you've already got a lead.
Yeah. So my player of the match, Viv Bessette. Woohoo! She scored a phenomenal header, was in the right place at the right time, and it was our game winner. So had to be Viv Bessette.
Yeah, I think that that's fair. I did honestly want to go with Viv Bessette just for the sake of the shutout and goal. I mean, that's a pretty good double right there as a defender. But for just to spread it around, let's say I went with Brooke Hendricks because Brooke Hendricks also contributed to the clean sheet. You probably could have given it to Sydney Schneider as well, but Brooke Hendricks for me, and both of them will be recorded here. We have the ongoing list of Player of the Match awards from RBLR Sports over the course of this season. Last year, the overall winner was Sydney Nasello, so we'll see who it is at the end of this year.
Yeah. So our next match, we are playing Fort Loserdale at Fort Loserdale. We play this Saturday at 7:30. And Eureka is telling me to put the graphic up. And then I put the graphic up. And what are the graphics, you ask? I remind the audience 40 minutes in, we have a YouTube. Go to our YouTube and look at our beautiful faces. It's at RBLR Sports on YouTube, at RBLR Sun everywhere else.
And if our beautiful faces aren't enough, check out our beautiful graphics, though.
Yeah. Made by our wonderful super producer, Eureka.
Exactly.
So yes, we are playing Fort Lauderdale next, at Fort Lauderdale. This will be the second time we have played them. Last time was actually our last home match, which ended up in a 0-0 draw. It was also our last shutout. So if you didn't listen to that episode, the players know about the rivalry, the new ones. they know. And they came because they came into that match, and I remember that being our first good match in a while. We still had a couple of players out, and I think we were still filling in some academy players, which I kind of think is where we were hurting a lot. But we didn't lose to Fort Lauderdale, and that was all I could ask for at that time. Now I want to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because Fort Lauderdale did not do so hot against Carolina. They also have a game on. I feel for them. I really do, because they have a game on Wednesday and they have a game on Saturday. That is a lot, like, because they had and they just played on last Saturday.
It's it makes me, because it's not us, say, oh well, but you gotta wonder at the same time. The Sun just had a 2-week break. And then there are these teams that are playing on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I don't understand how the USL Super League scheduling has turned out this way. I truly don't get it.
Yeah,
We need to get somebody from the league to explain how something like that has happened at some point. USL Super League, hit us up.
Yes, please explain your weird scheduling algorithm. We don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll have played 3 games in a week and a half, something like that. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Great for us. And I'm hoping we can pull out a win. Not only because we are so sound, but because they are overworked.
Mm-hmm.
We do have the same players out as last time. And so do they, as of their last game notes that they put out for their match, which tomorrow, today when this goes live, because they're playing on Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. They're playing at DC, so they're playing away too, so they have to travel. They're also still just out Leveni Vaca, which is the second of the Vaca sisters. I'm going to basically think that it's going to be the same lineup for the last time that we played them in October. Again, it was a 0-0 draw. We held them off very, very well, I think. And I don't remember how well our shooting was in that match, but a lot more shooting from this Spokane match. So I have high hopes.
It has gotten better, let's say.
Yeah, my score prediction is going to be a 1-0 win. I think we can do it again.
Okay.
Because the only goal they got against Carolina was Jasmine Hamid in like the 78th minute. And it was an okay goal. It wasn't great. It was a scramble in the box, and she just happened to be there, kind of thing. It was not a set play. It was not like they, made it happen per se. It just happened.
Yeah, I do like the prediction of a win, and we're gonna have to get super producer Eureka's prediction as well here. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm leaning. It's I feel like I think last week I did a 1-1 draw, and I feel like I'm leaning towards that again, just because. Yeah, I think I want to do a 1-1 draw again because last week I predicted a 1-1 draw against Spokane, not because I thought Spokane was particularly good, but obviously, as Sun fans are well aware, because the Sun have not been living up to the expectations that I think we all have for what is obviously a very good group of players. Luckily, they proved all of us wrong. Tom was the only one with a prediction of a win, so positive there. But on the other side of things, I think Fort Lauderdale are significantly better, obviously, than Spokane. So in this case, a 1-1 draw might still be a positive note for us. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw for this game.
All right, Eureka just decided to be like, nah, y'all are just wrong. And he's predicting a 3-1 win.
All right.
Which is kind of bonkers. Eureka,
Super
do you have
producer
predictions
Eureka
on who those goal scorers will be too? Okay, Sid, of course.
I could see that. Yeah. Also Sid and Henny. Interesting.
Henny. Okay. Sid, Henny. Henny with a header or something like that? Sure. Okay. I love it. I think we can do it. I think Fort Lauderdale is going to be tired. They're going to play a just okay DC Power. They're coming off a loss. Yeah, right. Yeah, they just lost to Brooklyn, who Brooklyn was also kind of a mess for a little while. People are worried about the Sun. I know we're last. I'm not worried. I went back and because I was curious, and I scrolled for like a billion years on on the Super League Instagram to look at the rankings. We only ended the end of December in 5th place.
Yeah, there you go.
We're in 9th. Theoretically, we make it to 6th. We're in the same place we were last year, and I think 6th is very doable. With at least another win here would be great. A draw here would also work. Lexington is going to be a hard one. But then we do have a couple more matches after that. I think we could do it. I think we could at least make it to 6th by the end of this half of the season.
I totally agree with you. And I think I've said this a couple of times, not on this show, but elsewhere. The Super League specifically is a little bit different from most of American soccer leagues because there is a split specifically. It is lined up with the typically European calendar because there are plenty of places that don't do that. I don't like a lot of people call it the worldwide calendar. It's not actually. There are a lot of places who just play within a single calendar year. But the Sun in the Super League are lined up with the European calendar season. And the reason for that is so that we can line up a little bit better with the most common, most popular transfer window. So transfer window, we take last season. We honestly didn't do that great in the first half of the season. Maybe it was better than what we're doing right now. I'll grant you that. But you give us the transfer window. Look at how we did after that. We got our after we got our row of ties out of the way. That was a little fun, but more fun is obviously the next step when we started to win a lot more games. So as long as you stay competitive over the first half of the season, you hit that transfer window, you know the places that you need to maybe bring in some new recruits or maybe whatever the deal is that you're looking to try and update, refresh the squad a little bit. And the second half of the season, you can do totally different things. You can make it look totally better.
Yeah, sorry, my my earbuds just like went boop boop and turned off for some reason.
Mm.
Okay, so apologies. I hope there's no echo or anything like that.
No echo on my end, at least.
Cool. All right. So I'm just gonna go without earbuds for now. Yeah. So people are kind of freaking out. Weirdly enough, I am not. I am very calm. I think we've gotten better with every match. This match is no different. This was great. Our first win, finally. I think we can continue. I think we can continue this upward trajectory for sure.
Yeah.
Although I'm motioning,
totally
and like you can't even see my arms. So some scores from this past weekend. Saturday. Were all our games on Saturday? Yeah, all the games were on Saturday except for ours. That's why I was like, wasn't there one? Yes, that was ours. So all the rest of the matches were on Saturday. Brooklyn played DC Power. Brooklyn won. Leo Scarpelli got a goal in the 49th minute. Dallas completely imploded against Sporting Jacks. Their keeper was having a rough night. If you go back and watch the Gainbridge Super League all goals for week 11, oh buddy. The first goal got in the keeper's head, and then the second one was just an absolute travesty. It was bad. Sporting Jacks did not have to do a lot of work for these two goals, which were scored in the 6th minute by Paige Kenton and the 23rd minute by who else? Ashlyn Puerta.
She is inevitable in the USL Super League.
Yeah, you could tell me that she's contractually obligated to score like 1 goal per game, and I would believe you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And then as I said before, Carolina played Fort Lauderdale, excuse me. I'm gonna use their God-given name. They won. They got a 71st minute goal from Jasmine Hamid. That was like a scramble in the box, and Jasmine Hamid just happened to be there. So I'm hoping that Fort Lauderdale is imploding as well. Everyone is imploding when we are doing great.
There we go. That's how it works out.
Yeah. So games coming up. I believe when this goes live on Wednesday, November 12th, DC Power will be playing Fort Lauderdale at 7 p.m. And then the rest of our matches are again on Saturday. We have Brooklyn versus Lexington at 3 p.m. We play at Fort Lauderdale at 7:30. And then at 9 p.m., Spokane is playing Dallas, which I think is going to be a battle of who is worse.
Yeah, well, it's one of those ones where we can say that we hope nobody wins, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love a nice like 0-0 draw for some of these.
A 0-0 draw,
nobody
exactly.
gets points anywhere, and then that helps us.
No boost of confidence for anybody on the field.
Yeah. That about wraps it up for today. Do you have any final thoughts for us, James?
Well, my final thoughts are pretty much what we've already gone over. The Sun appeared to be, at least slowly, to be sure, slowly on the way up, and I would like to see us build on last week's win. If we can get another shutout, that's going to be the biggest thing for me. Obviously, we need to do a little bit more on the attacking side. Maybe Maddie Parsons could help us out with that. But yeah, we've already gone over most of these parts that I'm hitting on again here. So I don't want to be too repetitive, and I just want to say, let's go the Sun.
You know what? I think that sums it up the best it ever could. Let's go the Sun. Yep.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.